you doing? In today's video, I am going to be testing out alcohol markers. Are they worth the hype? Sorry. My mission with these videos is actually to embarrass my children as much as possible. So, mission accomplished there. Yes, I shall hold these the normal way. Alcohol markers. So why have I decided to test these today? Well, so a couple of weeks ago, my good friend VixPic60, you can give her a follow on TikTok, messaged me like, have you seen this on TikTok? These things called alcohol markers and cute colouring pages are going viral. You need to get your butt on TikTok, because I wasn't at this point. So I did as I was told and I downloaded the TikTok and witnessed #ColourTok for myself. So if you have a little scroll on there are absolutely thousands of people filming themselves colouring with these marker pens and making them look really good. They don't seem to go all streaky like regular felt tip pens, and they seem to be able to blend seamlessly. There are loads of absolutely amazing sky fades and shading where people have took quite an ordinary colouring page and really transformed it through their use of these pens by adding all sorts of different patterns and textures and shadows, like light pouring through a window or from a lamp. And it honestly amazes me because it's not like digital art that I mostly use these days. Once you've put that colour down onto the page, that's pretty much it. So all of these people must have outstanding motor skills, because I can guarantee you mine will be all over the place because I press undo so much when I am colouring on using digital media. So today is going to be interesting. But of course, because it's social media, it all looks very perfect and aesthetic. But I'm here to keep it real, guys. I'm a complete noob to these and I'm probably going to use them all wrong. But as a completely unsponsored / unheard of YouTuber, at least you can rest assured that this will be a completely unbiased review. So I ordered these the other day along with some marker paper, which is recommended that you're supposed to use with these pens. I actually already gave these a quick test the other day. I filmed most of my video on a Thursday afternoon, but I've only got about 3 hours to do it, so I sometimes film other snippets throughout the week. I also tried out my new overhead setup because if you were watching last week, I tried using a GoPro on a selfie stick balanced on a shelf using a dumbbell, which unsurprisingly looked kind of rubbish. So my husband Elliot already had an SLR camera. I'm using that, and then I bought a proper arm for it. Hopefully today it is going to look a bit better than last week, but I'm still figuring out lighting and settings and stuff, so it's still not going to be perfect, but hopefully it's a step in the right direction. I've also got a microphone on today, which I'm testing out, another one of Elliot's gadgets, because I've probably made about 4 videos now, I think, and I've just been using my phone microphone. And because I'm in a shed, you can hear planes going over, you can hear when people are mowing their lawns. It's very echoey, you can hear birds singing. So if you go back to my older videos and the sound isn't as good, you know what's going on there. It was pre-microphone. So it's just actually here, look. I've actually taped it to myself because it comes with a magnet, but it was like weighing my jumper down and didn't look great. And I'll quickly show you them. I'm not sponsored by these or anything, but I figured if you might be a content creator or anything, these might be of relevance to you. Basically, it comes with 2 microphones in this little docking station. You just pop them out and you can clip it to yourself, and then you put that bit on your camera or phone or tablet or whatever you're using if you want to send the audio straight to your device. But it also has like a dictaphone setting, so that's what I'm using today, and it's just recording my voice and then I can upload it when I'm done and sync it with my footage. It's a DJI mic. Anyway, back to the markers. So these were not the most expensive on the market. I'd say they were kind of mid-range price. And when I opened them up, there was a cute little message inside from the seller. I wasn't actually expecting, but there was 2 bonus pens in there. So there was this white gel pen for highlights, and this, it's kind of a felt tip pen, but it's thinner than the markers. So that was a nice surprise to find those in there. So I tested them on the marker paper, and also I tested them on some watercolour paper that I already had in my drawer, because I wanted to kind of compare what the difference was between the 2 papers so I could see for myself. I tried drawing outlines to colour in, because sometimes if you don't want to be using a colouring page, you might want to draw your own pictures. So I tried using the felt pen that they sent, a couple of different fine liners and a pencil, and tried colouring in as if it was a colouring page, and then I also tried just going over it to see what happens. And it seemed to smudge on both papers, probably more so on the marker paper. In hindsight, I might not have left it to dry for long enough. I wasn't having much luck with blending the colours. They make it look really easy on TikTok, but the pens ended up kind of chewing up the paper a little bit. Perhaps I was pressing too hard. I don't know. If you use these, please do tell me in the comments how I can use these better, because I know for a fact that I'm not using these properly, and I probably should have done more research, but I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna try it. I'm a trial and error kind of gal, okay? Yeah, the watercolour paper seems to have come out a lot darker. I don't know if it's maybe because it absorbed more of the pigment, and it bled more as well. So I won't be using the watercolour paper. I will be using the marker paper, but it is so thin. It is like, you can see through it pretty much. It's almost like tracing paper. It's so thin. So the question is, what am I going to be colouring in today? Because obviously I am an illustrator, so I should really draw my own picture if I'm going to colour something in. So if you are new to the channel, you may not know that I have written and illustrated, with the help of my daughter Lily, 2 books in the Luna the Space Leopard series, and I am currently working on book 3. So I wanted to create a colouring page using the characters from my books. Since this video is going to be released on Valentine's Day, I wanted to do a Valentine's Day theme colouring page. So if you've read book 1, you may have seen at the end of the story that Astro and Luna's mom fell in love. There they are as well, look. Sitting on a bench having a coffee. But then by the time we got to book 2, their son Io is like 5 years old already. So we skipped a whole big chunk of time there. We never saw them going on their first date, or moving in together, or getting engaged. So today I'm going to change that. I have decided to draw their wedding day. The day that they swore to love each other eternally, in sickness and in health. And I can also get all the other characters in this way as well. Now, they actually got married after Io was born, so he's a toddler now. Now, I wanted to make the scene kind of chaotic, a bit like in the books. They do say never work with children or animals, and well, they kind of all fit under those categories. So, working on the tablet, I started off drawing them as kind of stick people, much like the wire armature that I sculpted BB with last week. I do find that working on a tablet makes figuring out a composition so much easier. I do use the undo button a lot, and I'm always moving layers around. Like if I'm just not happy where I've put an ear, you can just select it and shift it. Whereas obviously if you were drawing that on paper, you would have to erase it and it would be ruining your paper every time you did that. I especially like to use the app Pen Up for this because it's just so simple. I do the more technical stuff on Photoshop on the PC, but I find that I can just chill out on the sofa with my tablet and work, or I can be anywhere, to be honest. I can go anywhere around the house and just scribble out a composition for the next illustration. So, what is happening in this scene? Chip is on the wedding cake, eating it, of course, standard Chip. Mom looks rightfully annoyed. Luna is a flower girl and just stood there giggling. Astro is busy tripping over arty little Io, who is scribbling on a piece of paper on the floor, causing Astro to fling the cake cutter into the air, probably at all of their family and friends, while Sparky watches the whole thing unfold in horror, as usual. Also, the pigeon who makes guest appearances throughout both the books is on the flower arch and has also found love since it's Valentine's Day. So I'll show you the pigeon in question. It's that one. She's there on the roof. Book 2, she's on the wall. Not too happy about the fact that Jean is being so mean to Io. And then also on the last page there, looking at the portal device. Don't do it! Now, I wanted to fully hand draw this piece. So once I had worked out the composition on my tablet, I used it as a kind of light box to trace through the paper. Now, before you tell me that it's cheating, I am copying my own work that I just did. I ain't doing it again. Now, this paper was so thin that I was actually managing to press buttons through it. But thankfully, after a while, I did find a way to lock the screen in the top left corner. So here it is. I have my hand-drawn copy of the illustration of their wedding day.
Hello.
You're back early?
I'm working from home this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Computer's still out here.
Oh, yeah. I was in such a rush to get this done before getting the kids. Well, you can get the kids now. Now you're home.
Yeah, I'll get them.
Thank you.
What about 3?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. That gave me a massive fright. He did not tell me that he was coming home early and just came in the shed. Okay, so if I totally mess this one up, then my husband, my delightful husband, has also printed me out some sheets of the digital drawing. But I might just test this out as well anyway, just to see how it goes, because I quite often put my colouring pages on my Facebook page for people to print and colour in. So I shall see if it smudges. He used like an office printer. I don't know what kind of ink that is. It's like standard office printer. Okay, so I think that's enough rambling. Let's get colouring. Okay, so I am set up here on my desk and I'm actually going to test the printout first because I really don't want to mess up the one that I drew by hand, because that, even though I was just tracing it, it still took like an hour to do that. I can't remember the last time I actually did colouring in. I might start off with Mia, Luna's mum, in lemon yellow. Now these actually have a fine tip and a thicker tip. I don't think I'm going to be using the thicker side for this. I think that's more if you do like a big area, like a great big blendy sky or something, which I don't think I'm going to do a sky on this because I don't like doing backgrounds. I need my glasses on. I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, went over her eye. It's got a yellow eye. This is what I mean. Like, people are so talented. I used the fine liner to tidy it up. Now I've used too much white fine liner and now her pupil is missing. At least I'm practicing on this one. Okay, I don't think it smudged the ink. I think we're okay. Let's do the pink inside her ear. We'll start off with the light. I think start off with the lightest colour possible, because then you can always go over it with something dark if you need to. Luckily she's wearing a white dress, so that saves a bit of colouring in. Yeah, I don't think it's smudging. Right, okay, I'm happy with those colours, so I'm going to swap to the real one. Oh look, it's gone through. It's a good job I put this paper down. It's actually leftover wallpaper from when we decorated the shed, but it doubles up quite nicely as a backdrop for the overhead camera. So, right, let's test it on the real thing with the hand-drawn ink. Okay, well, I'd say the colour's definitely popping a lot more on this paper. Oh, it smudges. I thought if I'd have left it to dry for, well, it's had days to dry, so it's got nothing to do with that. I'm just gonna have to be really careful. I've smudged her eyebrow. Ugh. So the printout doesn't smudge much that I noticed, but the colours aren't as vibrant. Whereas the hand-drawn with fine liner one, the colours are more vibrant, but you can easily smudge it. That makes it very challenging because obviously these are leopards and they've got spots. And colouring around every single spot is going to be a challenge. I'm going to have to go around her eyebrow because I've smudged her eyebrow, so I'm going to go around it because she looks kind of like, she weirdly looks like Spock now. I don't know, she's got little Spock eyebrows. I mean, it is a science fiction story, but there are no Vulcans in it. I don't think you get leopard Vulcans either, as far as I know. Until today. Do you know what? I don't know if I should just stick with the printout one. I was saying that the colours are more vibrant on this one, but actually the printout. Do you know what? I'm going to make a very difficult decision here. I think I'm going to ditch the hand-drawn one, guys, because it is smudging and it doesn't look good. The thing is, I've used these fine liners with watercolours on watercolour paper before and it doesn't smudge, it stays where you leave it. But for some reason on this paper with these alcohol markers, it's smudging. So I guess you would have to colour it first and then go over it with the fine liners. That would be the only way around it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you have worked with these a lot. How do you apply the line work? Do you do it before, afterwards? Is there a certain kind of pen that works, certain kind of paper? I think I'm just going to stick to the printout, which is a shame, but sometimes you have to make difficult decisions in life. Right, so what's next? We'll go with chip. Now I'm going to have, since I've got numerous printouts, I'm actually going to use one as a test one over here. So like, yeah, that's probably a bit dark brown for, see, that's called yellow ochre, but it's actually come out really dark brown. Let's try terracotta. That's probably slightly warmer, but yeah, that's about the right colour now. Right, let's colour in Luna in her flower girl dress. So to keep it looking like Luna, I am going to colour in her dress blue because she wears a blue, like blue dungarees. We'll try and keep with the same colour theme. I need a nice light blue. This is the lightest blue there is, so it's just gonna have to do. I could just do her bow blue, but I think then I'm not doing enough colouring in if I leave her dress white. So I'm gonna make the dress blue. And I think that way we really get to test the streakiness, if we can see it. I'm doing it very lightly this time, so as not to chew the paper up like I did last time. So yeah, that's come out quite nicely. It doesn't look too streaky. Right, I am going to turn this camera off for a bit because otherwise I'm going to have like hours of footage to draw through, and I'll keep my overhead camera running and I will just speed the footage up, get this done basically. Okay, so what did I think of these marker pens and what does it look like? So this is the final result. What is that? So as you can see, I attempted a blendy sky and failed epically. It looks like I've just used a highlighter pen and it's not even straight. So I tried to blend the colours of the fur on Astro and Io, but all of the colours were just too dark. Because I was actually using things like light pink, vivid purple. I mean, they're quite a dark purple normally. And you would have thought that these colours would have been right, but it just came out so dark. Like all of the colours. That's supposed to be, the grass was grass green, which is, where is it? This one. Much less vibrant, it's very dull. Probably if I was using the marker paper, it would be a bit brighter, but there wasn't that much difference. I don't think that we can put it all down to the paper's fault. I'd say they were like significantly darker than the lids. I mean, the ink is way less streaky than a regular felt tip pen, but I have not come anywhere close to the blending that I see on TikTok. Look at that sky. Like, what is that? I don't know if it was just that I didn't have enough colours. There was no kind of in between on the blue and the pink. Maybe if I had more colours, because I mean, a lot of people on TikTok have got like a whole wall of these. If you look, they've got hundreds of them. I feel like I could have done with more pastel shades. These are all very dark. That's probably one of the worst pieces of art that I have created in a long time. Oh, I'm trying to think of something positive to say. I quite like how, so like on Astro's trousers, they came out like a really even, non-streaky colour. And in places, it does look a little bit kind of watercolourish, but it's definitely not streak free. I've managed to streak it. I tried to do some shading on the wedding dress and the cake table, but the lightest grey came out really dark. I could have done with a much lighter grey. I just could have done with more lighter colours. I don't know if it's user error or if it's the pens. I haven't got anything to compare to. Let me know if you've got these pens, what you've managed to create with them. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who could do a much better job of this. If you are one of those people, go on my Facebook page and you can download it and print it and send it me in the Facebook message and I will share it in my video next week. I have not done my drawing justice. That's what I think of that. I don't hate these. I think if I had more lighter colours and was just using them therapeutically to colour in nice, simple colouring sheets, then I would have fun with them. But I think if I was trying to use them for my illustrations, like professionally, I'd be very frustrated. I don't think I'm going to be switching from Photoshop anytime soon. I mean, I'm comparing these to digital media, which is kind of an unfair competition, really. I should compare these to sort of thinking back to when I was using Crayola and stuff when I was a kid, like those sort of felt pens. And they are leaps and bounds better than your standard felt tip pens, without a doubt. So I'm probably also comparing them to watercolour as well, actually, because I have worked with actual physical watercolour a lot. I think I would rather use watercolour paint. Ooh, I know it's probably controversial. Maybe I just need to give them a bit more of a chance. Maybe, where did these go? Right, so I think that's probably, oh, I just hit my microphone. Right, so I think that's probably about it for today, guys. If you have enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to subscribe. I've got a new little graphic. Or is it, where is it? Ooh. I keep trying to learn new things on Premiere Pro. That's what I've been using to edit my footage. I'll link everything that I've used today in the description if you wanted them. Not that I've really done a very good job convincing you that they're worth buying. Sorry, hang fan. I have not done your product justice. I'm sorry. So yeah, I shall see you next week. Take care, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.